We had decided to take a portion of these on 31st December at around 6 a.m. to the flood-affected people in Mannar district. The Sri Lankan army had provided their full cooperation for this. The Sri Lankan army personnel had been providing their contribution for 4 days by selecting clothes for men, women and children from different categories and removing the clothes that were unsuitable for use from the clothes given to us by the people. After the public announcement, the remaining portion was kept in a separate section in the mosque. At that time, on the 31st of December, the director of the International Human Rights Global Mission Board of Director and Media Director journalist Mr. Faslan went to the Horambaba Jamia Jummah Mosque to offer the Subah prayer. At that time, before the Subah prayer began, a retired government officer from the Horambaba area entered the mosque and said to the Imam on duty at the mosque. Some of the words he said were, "Why are you still keeping these najis, unclean things, in the mosque? Please inform the administration about this." He said that he has had enough of seeing these clothes every day. Isn't his story like coming to bathe and smearing mud? At a time when many people in the country have lost their livelihood and property, it is very worrying that they are being harmed through words without being able to help them, even if they are not supportive. The words he said hurt our feelings very much and denigrate and belittle the social services we provide. Also, isn't it the duty of an elderly person to be an example and role model for the growing society? Nevertheless, we patiently accept the words given by the people and continue to journey seeking the blessings of God. According to the saying, if someone does something, he will do it well. Last year, when a 40-feet container arrived through the government of Germany as a donation to the International Human Rights Global Mission, we would like to inform you that we have not forgotten that the person who made the above remarks words asked us for a working stick and asked if he would give me something cool. After the Subah prayer, the stored clothes and dry food items were loaded into a van for the journey to Mannar. The International Human Rights Global Missions Board of Director and Media Director, journalist Mr. Faslan, coordinator Rasis, volunteer Mr. Saruk, van driver Mr. Qasim going this social services journey. On the way, the road from the Mahavilatsya area, which was supposed to be very easy to travel, to the Wilpattu National Park was blocked due to flooding, so we had to take an alternative route, Tanthiri Mountain, through Atpangulam, several kilometers longer, through the Adiyakulam area. In addition, at many places, the road was hilly and bumpy, so we had to face many challenges. To coordinate this trip, Mrs. Muhammad Amirun Nisha, a member of the Musli Pradeshya Sabha, a human rights activist, a social worker, and the coordinator of the Musli Pradeshya Sabha Divisional Preschool, had given her full contribution. Her family also took care of the transportation expenses. The packages that were taken were kept at Mrs. Muhammad Amirun Nisha's house and packaged differently according to the needs of the affected people. Later, the needs of those traveling with us, including lunch and cold drinks, were arranged by Mrs. Muhammad Amirun Nisha's family members. Later, the packed clothes and essential items were distributed in the areas including Mannar, Aruvai Kunnu, Madukkarai village, Nanattan area, Kunjukulam village, Madhu area, Jeevnagar Pathimpuram, Mannar area, Izhukadwai village, and Manthai Medku Pradeshya Sabha. During this, the members of the International Human Rights Global Mission traveled at night to inspect the conditions of the affected people. Later, our members visited the houses of the affected people and inspected the current situation regarding their normal lives. The people of the area also invited us to their houses and explained the current situation there. We were able to observe scenes where their houses, household items, clothes, documents were completely damaged. We were able to guess how high the flood water might have reached by looking at the polythene bags and waste materials scattered on the tops of the trees. And especially livestock farming, including small-scale poultry farming, which was carried out in households. People reported to us with great concern that their houses were completely destroyed and that livestock had drowned in the floodwaters. People also reported that during their stay in the camps, everyone, including government officials, met their daily needs without any shortcomings. Furthermore, during this time, we handed over the clothes we had taken to the flood-affected people in the Ilupakadvai area of Mannar to the women's organization leader of the area and then set off again to take the clothes allocated to the Manthai West Pradeshya Sabha. When we were coming from the Ilupakadvai area of Mannar to the main road, some people stopped our van on the main road and argued with us to give us the items they had brought. At that time, we got out of the van on the main road and explained the true situation to those who argued with us. We told them that all these will be shared with you tomorrow and that we have handed them over to the women's organization leader in your village. However, they did not accept our views and argued with us. At that time, the police who were on duty in the area came and provided us with security and made arrangements to leave the area. It is also noteworthy that all the people of this area had received 25,000 rupees provided by the government for cleaning houses. It is noteworthy that the people of this area continue to need financial assistance and dry food items and clothes. We returned home at around 3 a.m.